Matthew Perry, star of the hit 90s sitcom Friends, died in a jacuzzi or hot tub on October 28, 2023 at the age of 54, allegedly from accidental drowning. His assistant had stepped out to run an errand and found him unresponsive when he returned. I found the Matthew Perry event quite difficult to decipher, which is why it's taken me so long to put a video out. But I see it as a message sent directly to those with eyes to see. This video decode of Matthew Perry is made possible by the support of TrueLove.com members. If you like this content and would like to show your support, visit TrueLove.com/membership to become a member, where you'll be able to access additional content, interact with other members through the TrueLove.com app. You are free to cancel anytime. Matthew was on Friends for 10 years, and there's a scene in which he was having a bubble bath when all the other friends came in. The bath signifies the primordial waters. The bubbles are the spume or the foam from which Venus sprang. The other friends each joked that they could see his pee-pee, the power pole. He covered it with a toy ship representing the Titanic, which he pulled underwater. This ship represents consciousness sinking to the bottom, which is now rising again. The friends all gathered round, much like they would at a funeral. Rachel is having a baby girl, which represents birth of the new world, or Venus. Joey is secretly in love with Rachel, so they all have news, the four corners of the earth. This scene is parallel to the images that Matthew shared on Instagram. Much has been made of these images that Matthew Perry shared on Instagram cryptically before he died, leading people to come up with many conspiracy theories, some of which are quite realistic. He died in a hot tub, which is also a bath. He was pictured in that very same hot tub in the corner under the moon in a blue light a few days before. There were two other images of corners that he shared, one in the corner of his garden, and the other was the ceiling in his home theater where he placed the bat signal. These are the three corners of the earth: water, earth, and air. But there's another image of a jack-o'-lantern lit up on a table, showing a wooden corner, which would be fire. So the four elements are represented here. News. Jack-o'-lantern is the middle pillar lighting up the pineal. Jack is Jacob, and the lantern is the light. The light is the inner fire, the fire within, Shin. The bat was a symbol during 2020, which is an animal that can see in the dark using sonar. When you open your third eye, you see in the dark. The bat signal is shone on the heavens as a call for Batman to help. The bat is the Milky Way, the knight in shining armor that protects the divine feminine. This is why they shine the bat signal on the heavens. The caption on the image of the corner of the garden photo was, "Why can Elon Musk send a woman to the moon and not be able to invent a silent leaf blower?" A few days after Perry's death, Elon posted a video showing a very similar image to Perry in the hot tub of a woman playing violin on the top of a square building with water in it, and the light was blue, just like Perry's image. She's standing on the corner of the building, and there's water in a pool on the rooftop, and the worlds are colliding behind her, much like the moon above. The water represents the primordial waters. The woman represents the divine feminine. The music represents the one song or the universe. She's creating the world all over again, and the worlds are colliding at the same time. This is destruction and creation all at once. The symbol in her hair represents Phi, which is creation. It's the 0 and the 1, the intersection of the male and female, signifying the creation of the new universe. And the tower represents the vortex or the PP, so the power pole in the bathtub and the Titanic. Water is associated with feminine, and Perry drowning in the water suggests he was overtaken by the feminine. On October 31st, there was a car accident involving Alan Ruck, which I also decoded. And this involved Alan Ruck speeding into an intersection, colliding with several cars before crashing into a wall, creating a hole in the wall. This reflected the Back to the Future moment. So he was at an intersection, which is the TNT. In the intersection, there were two billboards. One that said mosaic, which means putting all the pieces together, the pieces of Osiris. And the other said titanium, which means Titan I am. The Titans are returning once the pieces are together. Matthew Perry posted an image of his home theater featuring 3 TV screens, one on each wall, with the Batman movie logo on it. On the ceiling were stars, and the Batman logo was projected into the corner. The home theater represents the world. All the world's a stage. The screens on each of 3 of the 4 walls represents the show, the illusion projected on the world around us. The stars above are pulling the strings on the audience who are watching their own lives played out on the world stage. Batman is in the corner, the intersection, the TNT. The night Perry died, there was a lunar eclipse which was only visible in the Middle East. But he also posted a video of the moon a few days prior to his death, as well as an image of him in the corner of the hot tub under the moon. Again, under the moon can also represent being under the feminine. The post of the 3 cranberries he said he had for breakfast has been linked to the Cranberries singer Dolores O'Riordan, who also died of drowning. Dolores means Dorothy, the door to God, DeLorean. Cranberries float on the water. Cran means head, and berries are fruit, or the apple. 3 is the Trinity. This could represent the beginning of the new world. God hovered over the face of the deep, and God said, the fruit is the result or manifestation of what God said. Matthew's character Chandler Bing was modeled after Perry. The writers used the actors' personal stories and insecurities to develop the characters. Perry had a hard time finding love both on and off screen. Ultimately, though, Chandler found love with Monica. Perry, however, was not so fortunate. Some have said that Perry sold his soul to the devil with a prayer he made at 24, a couple of weeks before booking Friends. He said, "God, please just make me famous and I don't care what you do to me." He later said that he made a better prayer, but Perry suffered from debilitating feelings of not being worthy of love. His parents divorced when he was young and his mother remarried, but Perry started drinking at 14 and while on Friends became an alcoholic as well as addicted to pills. This addiction ruined his body and his life. This is not a result of making a deal with the devil. This was a result of a manifestation of his own request. In his prayer, he asked to be made famous, but he also asked for a life in which he did not take care of himself when he said, "I don't care what you do to me." This one line states that he does not care for his own well-being. Attributing his misfortunes to an external entity is misguided. It's because he did not heal his broken heart. So how does one heal a broken heart? Through the Back to the Future moment. I talked about the Back to the Future moment in another video, which is only available on my website. The Back to the Future moment is when you go back in time through meditation and unite your parents in love. Matthew also posted on Twitter that Back to the Future was his top favorite film. And it's not by any coincidence that a few days after his death, the Alan Ruck accident happened, which was a perfect presentation of the Back to the Future moment. Another image that surfaced was one of Perry having lunch the day before with a woman named Athena. The two of them are at a round table, which signifies the zodiac. Behind them is a window, just like in Love is Blind, which is representing the Zeus Canal where the two lovers meet for the first time. And here we have Perry meeting with Athena outside the window to the Garden of Eden. On each wall is the XX of the IXXI pattern. Then there's the Doja Cat video that was on TikTok of her dressed like a black demon on the Friends couch before the fountain, and above her it says demons, not friends. Demons are jinn or genie or genius, your inner god power. But if you look at it as evil, then you can be consumed by your inner demons, just like Matt Perry was during his addiction phase. The fountain is the joining together of the 4 rivers in the head. There are more details on this story that can be decoded if you want to get deeper into it, but I'm mainly concerned with figuring out the story that's hidden within. What is he telling you? It seems to me that he knew who he really was. He really died, as in he left this reality, and he sent a message to those with eyes to see. Once again, this story is telling of what will happen if you do not make the Kundalini connection, the Back to the Future moment. The divine feminine is rising, and if you're not prepared, you will be overtaken by the water, which is fear or emotion.